The MQ-28A Ghost Bat's anticipated test of firing an AIM-120 AMRAAM represents a transformative moment in the evolution of modern air combat and unmanned systems, with implications that extend far beyond a single weapon test. Historically, air-to-air combat has been dominated by manned aircraft, where human pilots are responsible for situational awareness, threat evaluation, target prioritization, and the precise timing of weapons employment. These tasks are extremely demanding and require rapid processing of complex information under intense stress, often with lives directly on the line. While unmanned aircraft have long played a role in modern air forces, their contributions have largely been supportive rather than directly combative, focusing on surveillance, reconnaissance, electronic warfare, and air-to-ground strike. Even the most advanced uncrewed platforms have been limited to simulated air-to-air engagements, demonstrating teaming capabilities with manned fighters or acting as decoys or sensor platforms, but none have engaged an actual air target with a real missile. The Ghost Bat's planned missile firing moves beyond these supportive functions and into the realm of real operational lethality, demonstrating that a collaborative combat aircraft, or loyal wingman, can assume tasks once considered exclusive to human pilots. This represents a new level of autonomy, integration, and combat credibility, signaling that uncrewed systems are beginning to transition from experimental and supplementary roles into direct participants in high-intensity aerial warfare. From a U.S. perspective, the importance of this development is multifaceted, combining operational, strategic, and industrial considerations. The United States has invested heavily in concepts that leverage uncrewed systems as force multipliers for manned aircraft, particularly within the framework of the next-generation air dominance and Skyborg programs. Loyal wingman concepts are central to this vision, where smaller, autonomous aircraft augment the combat power of advanced fighters such as the F-35 or future sixth-generation platforms. They extend sensor coverage, carry additional weapons, absorb risk that would otherwise fall on human pilots, and operate in coordination with a networked combat system to generate effects at a scale and speed beyond what a single human crew can achieve. Demonstrating that the Ghost Bat can launch an AIM-120 AMRAAM effectively validates these concepts in a real-world, operationally relevant context. It shows that an autonomous aircraft can manage weapon systems, receive and process targeting information from multiple sources, integrate into a command and control network, and execute a complex engagement with precision. This is a crucial proof of concept that supports U.S. planning by demonstrating that uncrewed combat aircraft can reliably execute functions essential to modern air superiority missions. The anticipated test also reinforces strategic objectives in regions where the United States and its allies must operate in a contested airspace environment, particularly the Indo-Pacific. Modern air combat increasingly depends on distributed operations, where survivability, flexibility, and the ability to generate effects quickly across a wide operational area are critical. Loyal wingmen equipped with air-to-air missiles introduce new layers of capability that complicate an adversary's calculations. Each additional uncrewed aircraft increases the number of potential shooters and sensors in the fight without increasing the risk to human pilots. This alters the dynamics of engagements, forcing potential adversaries to contend with both manned and autonomous threats that can operate cooperatively, sometimes in ways that are not immediately apparent. By demonstrating that a CCA can fire an air-to-air missile, allied partners show that they can contribute meaningfully to these distributed operations, creating opportunities for deeper integration of forces and increased combat effectiveness across the combined air tasking structure. The technological implications of this development are equally significant. Executing a live missile firing requires the uncrewed aircraft to handle complex calculations related to missile trajectory, timing, sensor fusion, and targeting coordination. It must respond to dynamic conditions, potentially including moving targets, changing environmental factors, and electronic interference. The ability to perform these tasks successfully validates both the aircraft's autonomy and the broader concept of manned-unmanned teaming in realistic combat scenarios. From the United States' point of view, observing an allied platform achieve this milestone provides a valuable reference for its own programs, reducing uncertainty about the feasibility of fully integrating autonomous aircraft into combat formations. This can accelerate development timelines, inform doctrine, and guide improvements in autonomy algorithms, sensor processing, and mission planning systems, effectively providing a real-world laboratory for refining U.S. capabilities without having to absorb all the risk domestically. In addition to operational and technical benefits, the Ghost Bat's progress has important implications for allied industrial and defense collaboration. The United States places high value on interoperability with partner nations, ensuring that Allied platforms can communicate, share data, and operate under common procedures within a joint operational framework. Demonstrating that an Allied CCA can launch an air-to-air missile proves that advanced systems can be produced, integrated, and operated in ways that align with U.S. standards and operational concepts. This expands the pool of capable partners who can field complementary capabilities, strengthens coalition airpower, and enhances the resilience of combined forces. For U.S. defense planners, this reduces reliance solely on domestic production for certain classes of advanced systems while creating opportunities to coordinate, co-develop, or procure systems that meet mission requirements across multiple theaters of operation. The Ghost Bats missile test also underscores the shift in air combat toward distributed lethality and the incorporation of autonomous decision-making into high-intensity engagements. Air-to-air combat requires rapid assessment of target threat levels, calculation of engagement windows, and precise execution of weapons release sequences. That an uncrewed aircraft can execute these functions demonstrates that autonomy has reached a level of sophistication where it can operate within the tempo and complexity of modern aerial warfare. For the United States, this capability validates assumptions about the operational potential of autonomous systems, providing confidence that uncrewed aircraft can meaningfully contribute to both defensive and offensive missions while enhancing the effectiveness of manned platforms. It also reinforces the principle that future air combat forces will consist of mixed formations where human pilots and autonomous aircraft collaborate seamlessly, with the uncrewed aircraft extending situational awareness, adding additional firepower, and performing high-risk maneuvers that would be unacceptable for a manned fighter. Strategically, the demonstration of an air-to-air missile launch by the Ghost Bat advances the U.S. vision for integrated, resilient air forces capable of maintaining control in contested environments. By adding autonomous shooters into the battlespace, the number of potential targets an adversary must track and neutralize increases dramatically. This creates a tactical advantage by overwhelming or confusing enemy defenses and increasing the probability of successful engagements for friendly forces. It also contributes to survivability, allowing high-value manned aircraft to operate with reduced exposure to threats while still achieving mission objectives. A proven loyal wingman capability enhances deterrence by demonstrating that U.S. and allied forces possess scalable, networked, and lethal assets that are more difficult for adversaries to counter effectively. From an industrial perspective, the success of the Ghost Bat program also supports U.S. defense priorities by providing insight into the integration of autonomy, weapons, and networked command systems. Observing a fully functional allied system reduces risk for domestic programs and validates design philosophies, control architectures, and teaming concepts. Lessons learned from operational testing can inform American acquisition decisions, accelerate deployment schedules, and guide refinements in software, communications, and sensor technologies. This contributes to a broader strategy of maintaining technological advantage by fielding highly capable, interoperable systems across multiple allied nations, ensuring that the U.S. and its partners can respond to emerging threats with both scale and precision. The MQ-28A Ghost Bat firing an AIM-120 AMRAAM represents more than just a technical milestone, it signals the operationalization of uncrewed combat aircraft in air-to-air engagements. For the United States, this development confirms that allied systems can reliably participate in high-intensity combat, validates the concept of manned-unmanned teaming, provides a model for industrial collaboration, enhances deterrence and operational flexibility, and advances the strategic objective of building a distributed, resilient, and scalable air combat force. The ability to field uncrewed aircraft capable of autonomous weapons employment fundamentally changes the dynamics of air warfare by increasing the number of available shooters, extending situational awareness, and reducing risk to human pilots. A successful test will mark a critical step forward in demonstrating that uncrewed loyal wingmen are no longer a theoretical concept but a viable, operational component of future air combat operations. It confirms that the path toward integrated, networked, multi-domain airpower, where manned and unmanned aircraft operate seamlessly together, is achievable and is being actively realized by allies in close alignment with U.S. operational concepts, priorities, and strategic interests.